Hi YouTube, this is Shell with Shelby's Knickknacks here bringing you another crochet tutorial. In today's tutorial, we'll be going over how to crochet a newborn to 3-month bobble stitch ear warmer. So if you would like to learn how to crochet this cute little ear warmer for a newborn to 3-month-year-old, stay tuned and I'll show you how to complete that. Let's start with the materials. You'll need scissors, a 5mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle, and a size 4 worsted weight yarn in a color of your choice. In this one I'll be using I Love This yarn in the color Ivory. You will also need, optional for the embellishment, you will need a button. And depending on the size of that button, the tapestry needle would be fine if the holes are wide enough, but if not, you will need threading needles or a threading needle in order to sew on that button. This is the example that we'll be working with today. In today's video, we'll be making the newborn to 3-month size. The example here that I have is for the adult size. And if you would like to know how to make all sizes from newborn all the way up to the adult size, then I will put a link to my Etsy shop in the description box below, where you can go online and purchase the written pattern in the PDF. Okay, let's get started with the beginning. So we're going to make a slip knot, so you wrap this around your fingers. Put your hook through and pull it up and then slide it on there. Making sure that you're not working with the tail end but the part that's feeding from your yarn. And for the newborn to 3-month, we're going to chain 10. We're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we are going to half double crochet our way back across these chains. So in order to do a half double crochet, you'll yarn over and you'll find that second chain from the hook. This loop does not count as a chain, the one that's on the hook. So you'll count 1 and 2. After you yarn over, you'll insert into that second chain from the hook, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, and pull through all 3 of those loops. Let's see that again. Yarn over, insert into the next chain, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over, insert into the chain space, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And we're going to keep repeating this until we reach the very last chain, where we should end up with 9 half double crochets. Okay, now that we've completed those 9 half double crochets, we're going to chain 1. And this chain 1 in this pattern does not count as a stitch. Turn our work. And now we're going to half double crochet all the way back across, being sure that we end up with those 9 half double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, insert, yarn over and pull up, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this last one, 9, is hard to see, but that is still a stitch. Being sure that you get up under both of those loops in that V. Pull through all 3 loops. And now we're going to chain 1 turn or work again, and on row 3 you're just going to repeat the same exact thing that you did on row 2, which is doing those 9 half double crochet, and I'll meet you back at the start of row 4. Okay, so I'm already at the beginning of row 4. I've already chained 1 and turned my work, and on row 4 this is the bobble stitch row. So basically what we'll do is a half double crochet, a bobble stitch, a half double crochet, and a bobble stitch, and so on and so forth until we reach the end of the row. So first we're going to do our first half double crochet in the first stitch, and then the second stitch we're going to do a bobble stitch. So we yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops only, yarn over, insert into the same stitch space, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops only, and you're going to keep repeating this until you have 5 loops on your hook, and we have 4 there, so we need to do that one more time. Now we have 5, so we yarn over and pull through all 5, and that was your first bobble stitch. And now we're going to do a half double crochet, bobble into the next stitch, and just keep pulling through those first 2 loops until you have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 5. And now we're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. And now we're going to bobble into the next stitch. Yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. Half double crochet in the next. Bobble in the next. And again, we're making sure that we still have 9 stitches by the end of this row. And this bobble stitch is now in the 8th stitch space, because again, you do not want to miss your stitches in this. Yarn over and pull through all 5. And now again, we have that last half double crochet that we need to do, and that's the 9th stitch in row 4. Push it through. Okay, and now we chain 1 and we turn our work. And now we're going to do 9 half double crochet all the way across row 5. So we're going to yarn over, and hopefully you can see this, and we're going to put that into that first stitch space on row 5. First half double crochet, and now we're going to go into the top of that bobble stitch, which is the second stitch space. That's 2. And now from the last row, the last half double crochet, that's 3. On the top of the last bobble, 4. Top of the last half double crochet, top of the last bobble, top of the last half double crochet, top of the last bobble, and the 9th one, top of the last half double crochet, which is usually always hard to see, but it is still a stitch. And now we chain 1 and we turn our work, and this will be the beginning of row 6. So basically at this point we're literally just going to keep repeating rows 4, which is the bobble stitch row, which is the half double crochet bobble, half double crochet bobble. And after we get done with that, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and then you're going to half double crochet all the way across, being sure you end up with those 9 stitches. So basically for rows 6 through 30, all the even number rows will be the bobble stitch pattern row. All the odd number rows will be the half double crochet all the way across. And I will put the description somewhere on the screen so that you're able to better follow along, and I will meet you back at row 30. Okay, I'm on my last 2 stitches on row 30. So this is my bobble stitch here in the 8th stitch. yarn over and pull through all 5. And now my last half double crochet into that 9th stitch space. Okay, chain 1, turn my work, and this, let's see, hopefully you can see this, is what my work looks like so far. I finished out that 30th row, which is that bobble stitch row. And now we are going to finish out the last 3 rows, which is basically just a repeat of the beginning. We're going to end up doing 3 rows of half double crochet all the way across. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work again. And now this is the start of row 32. And so we're going to half double crochet all the way across in all 9 of those stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and you're just going to repeat this row again. You're going to chain 1 and turn your work for row 33. And once you're done with that last row of half double crochet, I will meet you back in order to fasten off. Okay, I've already completed row 33, and now I'm going to chain 1 and pull up on my yarn a bit. And I'm going to take my scissors and leave a fairly sizable tail. A couple inches should do since this is a smaller project. Cut my yarn. And now I'm going to pull that all the way through, and that fastens off our work. And now with the wrong side facing out, which is this side, we're going to end up taking the long tail end that we just made there, and we're going to put that through our tapestry needle. Okay, got that through the tapestry needle. Hopefully you're able to see this. We're going to fold this in half with the wrong side facing out, which means the bobble stitches are on the inside and essentially the smoother side is facing us. And you're going to take the tail end from this end. I'm right-handed, so I'm starting from my right. And I'm going to go through the actual stitches on both sides. And we're basically just weaving them in across. I'm not sure what you would call this stitch, maybe a whip stitch, but I'm making sure that I'm getting under all of those stitches. And just make sure that it's even, because you still have your 9 stitch count across, so it should be fairly easy. And don't worry about this tail, we'll weave that in later. Okay, almost done. And just making sure we get up under that last half double crochet that's always been so tricky. Okay, and now we're going to flip it right side out. and then we're going to cinch. We're just going to pull in until it cinches in a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. And that looks pretty nice on its own. So if you would basically like to stop here, you could just weave in your ends, cut your yarn, and tie off, and you would be completely done. But if you would like to add the button embellishment, I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. As soon as I cinch this in the way I like it, and then weave in my ends. And I'll be right back. Okay, that's about how I like it. So basically, I'm just going to go back through. And I took my yarn towards the center, since that's basically where we'll have that button, depending on the size of our button. And that way I can hide my yarn a little easier. Okay, I got my yarn back to the center the way I'd like it. And basically at this point, before I even detach my yarn, I need to make sure that maybe I may or may not be able to use this to sew on my button. And as we can see, this doesn't fit, and that's why I said earlier that you might need those threading needles in order to sew this on. So basically I would suggest for this infant size not to use any button that's too large. I think I'll go with this one. And I'll be right back as soon as I thread that needle. Okay, I'm back, and I have my button and I have my yarn through my needle now. And basically I'm going to try to get this as close to the center as possible. And this is not an exact science, it's just whatever looks good to you. Okay, so I'm going to bring that through. And that looks about center to me, so I'm going to go back down through my work. Flip it over. And I just like to take mine back through that loop I made here. And I am not the best sewer, so bear with me. I just do what I can in order to get it attached on and looking nice and making sure it's secure. Okay. I'm gonna go back through. Back down. And you just do this as many times as you feel is necessary, just to make sure that button is nice and secure on there. Okay, that's about enough times for me. So basically at this point, I'm going to flip it. And again, at this point, you're just making sure it's as secure as possible. And I'm going to take that yarn through that loop in order to make a knot. And pull at the base to make sure it stays. And I'm going to take my scissors and cut the excess. And that is it. Your newborn to 3-month ear warmer. This concludes today's tutorial. Hopefully we're able to follow along with me in order to make this cute little bobble stitch ear warmer for a baby for newborn to 3 months. And again, I will link a link down to my Etsy shop for those of you that would like to make all of the sizes from the size that you saw here today up to the adult size. I will put that in the link description box below where you are able to go on to my Etsy page and purchase that. And if there's anything that you would like to see in the future, please let me know. And also, if you would like to follow me on Instagram at Shelby's Knickknacks, you could also find me on Facebook at Shelby's Knickknacks. And if you would also just like to like and hit that subscribe button in order to see some more videos, support my page, I'd really appreciate it. And in the meantime, I'm Shel with Shelby's Knickknacks, and I'll be seeing you next time.